lubrication and air allowance. I'm showing here two little things that you pull down on the corner out of the rack. I'll first take the front cover off so you can see inside a little bit. You can see these four bright lamps in here for the fans. They're chamfered in slightly so the handle's inside the machine. If you just pull that out, pull the fan out. Won't do that, it'll set up all sorts of alarms and alerts going back to IBM about a failed. So here's the two little handles, I'll pull it out. Oh, it's getting a bit close. We'll change the position of the camera now. Okay, that's better. Looking down a bit more now, we can pull it out the rest of the way. Nice big labels on top. The memory details are here, the CPUs and DIMM slots. Here are the fans, USB, the adapter slots and the disk slots, all clearly documented on top. Here's the release catch. Push the little blue thing in, lift it up, and we can lift off the front cover. I'll show you how that is pulled out of the rack like this with it still running a little bit later. I'm going to lift these air baffles out. This makes sure that the air being blown in the front covers the DIMMs and the two CPU heatsinks, 0 and 1 CPUs. Processors. These are the memory slots that come in fours. That's the front and the back. You can see them numbered in here. You can see the different colours here. The white slots with black handles and black slots with white handles and things. They're all clearly labelled up so that you can see which one is which. Here are the two extra disk drives. You flip the little catch. You can, again, we've got little spaces in here to fill up the hole. Pops back in here. Flip the latch over to lock it down. There's another one the other side. These are the two SAS controllers normally, but we have the NVMe. There's two cards here with two NVMe drives on each. Here are the two power supplies, one on top of the other. Most likely power 8 machines, so they're higher rated. This is the light path diagnostics. We can pull the machine out and press this, and it'll tell you which one of the things you're meant to swap out. This is the VPD chip, keeps the codes for the advanced functions, so this is the service processor in the corner. And there's the 9 adapter slots coming across the machine. Over here are the two Ethernets, and here are the two fibre channels that we have in this machine. We'll see those around the back in a minute. So let's pop these air baffles back. Normally you wouldn't take them out unless you need access to those two internal disks. Nice and cool. Pop the lid back on, we'll leave it with about 1 centimetre gap at the front end here, gently push it back, push down the handle, clunk, it's all done. Then we release the two catches on the rails to allow it to go back into the machine, and we can gently push it back in. Finally we need the front cover, it's a spring clip, push back in, and there we go. Let's have a look around the back. So here's the back of the S922, which is this one here. We can see the two power supplies. The power leads are velcroed to the handles on the back of the power supply so they don't fall out. We have two Ethernets in the corner here. We're only using one of the 4 ports. Then there's two sets of fibre channels in here on each one port again. These are the two cables going to the HMC from the back of the service processor. Cables run across this way, back around here, down the cable management arm that we are very pleased with. Excellent piece of design. Because you can quickly lift the lids in here and just pop the cables inside. We're velcroing the Ethernet on the insides, the fibre channel on the outsides, and the power cables to the bottom to keep everything neat and tight. Do want to be careful with the fibre channel. They always look dodgy even though they are quite strong. Now it's connected here to the chassis, the back of the machine here, and to the chassis over here, and you're thinking how is that going to work when we pull it out of the machine. So I'll quickly run around the front of the machine and gently pull it out. You can see how the cable management arm keeps everything right. There we go, it slips forward, then it slips down that extra rail in the middle and pulls out as it goes forward. Pretty neat design. We're very encouraged with that. Very simple to put on the back of the machine and on the rails. Excellent piece of engineering there. Finally we have a sideways look in the machine while it was out. So you only have half the DIMMs in here, half of them are fillers that helps encourage the air to move down the side of the DIMMs. These are the NVMe cards, two of them, and each of them has two NVMe drives. Four of them we put into four different LPARs, by the way. This is the service processor, the battery sticking up at the top. That's good, easy to change. This is the vital product data chip, and just the top of the card basket, top of it, the light path diagnostics. So that's the IBM Power9 S922 first look. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want more of these sort of videos, give us a thumbs up. Comments are always useful. Thanks for listening. Hi, I'm Naz Grivis. We're looking at this Power9 S924 video. What you need to know about system software. Fact number one, we're looking at the software running on your hardware management console. To control the Power9 machine, you must be running the HMC software 910. You can upgrade your current CR7, CR8 or CR9. Quick note there that if you're currently running the 870, the latest version for the Power8 machines, that will control Power 6, 7 and 8, but not Power9 machines. If you upgrade to the 910 version of the software on your HMC, then that will let you control Power 7, 8 and 9, but not the older Power 6 machine. Fact number two is we have new HMC hardware that came out at the end of 2017. So if you're getting a new HMC for your new Power9s, this is what we'd recommend. 7063CR1, and it's based on the Power 8 processor, which is really nice because we have more CPUs, memory and disk, and it's slightly less expensive, so there's absolutely no reason for not taking it. It's actually easier to operate too. Fact number three, Power VM Enterprise Edition is included with the price of the hardware at no cost. You will still need to purchase the software maintenance for Power VM. Key features of that, I think we all know these, but LPARs, VIO servers, line partition ability, key piece of software for keeping your applications running, even if you have to take the machine down, remote restarts and shared storage pool. Fact number four, for Power VM, two special cases. One is that some people really don't want Power VM. It tends to be single dedicated smaller machines running IBM I with a single application in it. We have a mechanism for sorting that out inside IBM. The other one is LPM. We can permanently disable this option. And you think, why would you want to do that? Well, there's some software vendors, namely Oracle, that will try and charge you double the number of licenses if you find LPM is available. So we can switch that off permanently with a vet code on your HMC. Fact number five is PowerVC is default included into the configuration of these new scale-out servers. Lots of features and functions in here. It's OpenStack with additions so you can control the fancy features of your Power machines and virtual machines. Of course, if you really don't want to do this or try this piece of software, then make sure it's not in your configuration. Fact number six is Power SE Standard Edition. This is included by default again in your configuration. Lots of good tools in here, in particular real-time alert for AIX. Very quick to get running, very quick to let you know if somebody's fiddling on your box. And the Trusted Firewall is actually a performance tweak. It actually lets your machines run faster. Fact number seven, AIX and IBM I, the very latest versions, support Power9 from day one. Some advanced features of the processor will have to wait for the upgrades of the operating systems for full support. Now, the older versions of AIX, IBM I, and Linux, they will still be supported in Power 8 mode on the Power9 processor, and you still get the full performance benefits of the Power9 processor. The Linux distros have their own release cycles, so for Ubuntu, SUSE and Red Hat, we'll have to wait for those to come around before we get the full Power9 support, but they've all signed up to support Power9. You may not have noticed, but Power9 has no internal DVD. DVD is a pretty old technology, mechanical and unreliable, and pretty slow too. So for installing your operating systems in the VIO server, we've moved on now, fully supporting the USB memory key, or thumb drive, whatever you want to call it. Go for the 3.0 version. What I found from my experience, that's about 3 times faster. And copy your ISO image to your memory key and boot up from it. Of course, HMC and network install still works fine too, if that's where you want to do it. IBM does supply an external USB DVD drive. One warning, do plug your DVD drives into the sockets at the front of the machine, not the ones around the back. So here's my list of the system software summary. Pause the video if you want to capture or read those. What's the take home I want to leave with you? Well, we have all the Power System core strengths available in this new range of Power9 servers. We have this new faster processor, larger memory, lots and lots of disk options and really faster downloads. If you've got workloads running on Power 7 or 8, well, you can just migrate those over right now and get the benefits of your Power9 machine. We also have really good timing here because the standards for the DDR4 and the PCI Gen 4 were just available a few months before we released, so we can pick those up and get a great deal of future-proofing in these new machines. Well, that's it for the end of this 5-part series has been good fun, very difficult squeezing all the facts down into the minimum amount of time. Don't forget, give us some thumbs up, subscribe, or give us some comments. Only if we can prove that people are watching this can I do the same next time round. Until then, goodbye. I'm Nigel Griffiths, and it's my great pleasure to talk about the Power9 S924 server, what you really need to know, 9 facts about your disks and system planar. Removable disk unit called an RDX connected via USB. This is a regular disk in a hard cartridge. You pop it in and you can use it as a disk and press a button and it will pop out. This is a nice low cost backup device. You can have it standalone, as in the top right picture, or down the bottom. It can be in the front of the machine. Fact number 2, we're looking at system planars. We have a base one, a split, and then we have 2 advanced function planars. The planars support the internal hard disk components. Fact number 3, for the base planar we have 12 disks in the front of the machine connected to a single SAS controller. It supports Mirror Stripes and RAID 5 and the optional RDX. The split planar is much the same. It has a second simple SAS controller, and that allows us to split the 12 disks into 2 sets of 6. So 2 different operating systems and 2 different virtual I/O servers can have their own set of disks internally. Fact number 4 is the expanded function planars. The first one has 18 bays. It has the accelerator controllers, which has a protected, battery backed up write caches, more advanced RAID features, and an easy tier, and we can have an external SAS port to which we can connect a remote draw. More on that later. The fourth one is the same as the 18 bay, but it's a 12 bay, and we have an optional slot for the RDX to go in. Fact number 5. The internal disks are 4K formatted, that's 4 kilobyte blocks. They're 2.5 inches in size, that's called SFF, or small form factor. A lot of them are coming over from Power 8. If you find the same feature code in the Power 9 machines, you should be able to reuse those disks. I would upgrade the firmware on them just to make sure. Number 6, on the left hand side we have the regular hard disks. There's a trade-off between the RPM, how fast they are, how big they are, and how much they cost. You'll have to make up your own minds there. On the right hand side we have the solid state drives. Of course these wear out with excessive writing to the device, so you have to decide whether you want 10 or 1 DWP 5 writes per day over 5 years. Again, there's cost implications based on the size and their use. There's also a set of disks which are very similar to this but slightly smaller in size, but that's because IBM I use the 512 byte blocks and they come up to a lower number. Fact number 7, if you want even more disks, then we can add a disk drawer full of SAS disks. The EXP12SX has 12 3.5-inch disks. The EXP24SX has 24 2.5-inch disks. We can also connect an EXP24S. We can't buy them anymore, but you might have those already connected to your older machines and you can bring them over. All these connect via the PCIe SAS adapter or a SAS port if you've got the expanded function planar. Fact number 8 is we now have NVMe, which is new for power scale out. Although that stands for non-volatile memory, in this case it behaves very much like very fast disks. The NVMe carrier card has 2 400GB M2 drives in it, so you get a maximum of 4. These are very high performance, so they're quite a lot faster than your SSD disks, but there's no concurrent maintenance for replacing them online. They have a write endurance of 1 drive write per day, primarily intended for the store and boot of your operating systems. Each NVMe device can be assigned to a different operating system or LPAR. Fact number 9, fiber channel SANs to access to a LUN on the back end disk units is still going strong in large computer rooms. This allows for a whole bunch of very nice features. I'm not going to go through this long list, as you should know this already. Here's my list of 9 facts we've just looked through. Pause the video if you want to read them. So what you need to remember, well, a wide range of disk sizes, a wide range of disk types and technology, and 3 ways of doing your dual VIO server. With that said, this video of what you need to know, next time we'll be looking at the facts about the system software. As always, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to know more. I'm Nigel Griffiths, and it's my great pleasure to talk about the new Power9 server, the S924, what you really need to know about the series, 9 facts about the I/O adapters. PCIe has been around quite a long time now, and in the middle of 2017 they officially announced the Generation 4 or version 4. Everybody seems to call it Gen 4. Now, this is pretty good timing for the Power9 machines that are just coming out in 2018. Good future proofing if you take the new generation of this adapter technology. Fact number 2 is looking at the speed of the Generation 4 adapters. They're twice the speed of Generation 3. Now the X8 and the X16 is the number of lanes. More lanes, the faster you go. So Generation 4 is really about future adapters that are above 10 gigabytes per second. Now notice these PCI speeds are in gigabytes per second. That's roughly speaking 100 gigabits per second. Now the good news for Fact 3 is that the Generation 3 adapters can be used in a Generation 4 slot. When it's powered up, it auto-negotiates the speed and will run at Gen 3. Initially for Power 9, most of the adapters will be Gen 3. They're coming over from the Power 8 machines. That's fast enough for line speeds. Now notice networks and sounds tend to use gigabits per second for the speed rating. Fact number 4. So in the S924 with 2 Power 9 chips, you get 11 slots. A combination of 6 Gen 3 and 5 Gen 4. If you only have 1 Power 9 chip, you lose a couple of those PCI slots, particularly Gen 4 ones. Fact number 5 is that if you're in the S924, the 4 means 4 UI and the adapters are full height and half length. If you're using the S922, then you'll need the low profile adapters to fit in the machine. Fact number 6, nice diagram in here. We can see the 2 Power 9 chips in their P9s and their associated memory that's attached to them. Then on the left hand side, we can see there's a whole bunch of PCI adapters. In purple, we can see the C numbers. These are the slot numbers as you'll find on the back of the machine. They're labelled up with these numbers. On the right hand side, we can see there's just 3 slots, but they're the higher speed Gen 4 slots. If you only have 1 Power 9 chip, then you'll lose the right hand one, and so you can see we lose some of the PCI Gen 4 slots as well. Now if 11 PCI slots isn't enough, then what you need is an expansion drawer. Everybody calls it a MEX drawer, which is a bit odd because the feature code is actually EMX, but there we go. If you have 2 Power 9 chips in your S924, then you can support up to 1.5 MEX drawers, and you think that's a really odd number, right? Well, we'll explain that now. So here's a slide from our Power 8 days, and it's exactly the same MEX I/O drawer, which can be useful if you want to move a MEX drawer from a Power 8 machine to a Power 9 machine. That will all work fine. If you look around the back, you'll see that there's 2 different units in the back here. They're actually in metal boxes separated, and each of those provides 6 additional PCI slots, and in the middle there's a connector that goes back to the server, in this case the S924. In the S924 you have to have an adapter called an EJ08. If you've got an S922, it's an EJ05, and so in this case with just 2 half drawers, we'll need 2 adapters to support those. Fact number 9. So what's the maximum number of adapters? Well, 11 slots in the machine, 18 slots in those 3 half drawers, but don't forget we lose 3 because we need those in the server to connect to the MEX drawer, so we end up with 26. Initially there's 50 adapter types. That's about twice what I was expecting. There's 30 more to follow on at a later date, and then there's some really exciting high-speed Gen 4 adapters coming later, but I'm not allowed to tell you anymore. So here's my summary of the 9 points. Pause the movie if you want to read through that. Things to remember: the S924 is ready for Gen 4, 11 slots built into the server, and with a couple of I/O drawers you get 26 slots. There's an industry trend towards fewer high-speed adapters. Well, that's it for this movie. We're going to be looking at facts about discs in the next one. If you like this video, thumbs up please, or subscribe. I'm Nigel Griffiths, and it's my great pleasure to talk about a Power 9 server called an S924 and what you really need to know. In this video, we'll be looking at 9 facts about the S924 memory. Fact number 1. These servers are coming out with industry standard DDR4 DIMMs. It's good timing to start the new product with the latest memory that's coming out and getting popular. If you want IBM support, it has to be IBM memory. Fact number 2. Why this change? Well, the Power 9 CPUs are much faster, and that demands more memory, and workloads themselves seem to be increasingly getting memory hungry, and we want to keep the price down of these scale-out machines. Customers told IBM that they prefer this DDR4 plus memory in their scale-out plus servers. Fact number 3. How much memory can put in these computers? Well, we have a minimum of 64 gigabytes and a maximum of 4 terabytes. A few DDR comments from me. Generally they're quicker than the DDR3 memory that preceded them, but not massively. These less electrical power. Most important factor though is the higher density DIMMs. It's missing a few reliability features that we had in the Power 8 central memory, but it's still going to be reliable memory. Fact number 5. The DDR4 memory is directly attached to the Power 9 processor. The processor has 8 ports to it. Each port can have 1 or 2 DIMMs, so that gives you the 16 DIMMs per processor, and we have 2 Power 9 chips in the machine, so that gets us to the 32 DIMMs. Fact number 6. What's the bandwidth from memory into the processor chip? Well, the peak is 340 gigabytes a second, and the sustained is 240 gigabytes a second, so we could RAM, excuse the pun, the entire 4 terabytes into the processor in 17 seconds. Fact number 7. We have 4 different DIMMs. These are the same DIMMs that are used across the entire range. If you're using 1 DIMM per port, per socket. Then they're running at these megahertz ratings. The 16GB has been around for longest and has the lowest density. That can run at 2666 megahertz. The others run at the 2400. If we go up to the using more DIMMs per port, then they're clocked down slightly. In fact, right on top of the machine at the front, there's this nice big label. In this part of the label, we see in the middle the SMC, the single chip module 0. This is the Power 9 processor in the middle. And around that, to the left and right, is where the memory sits, actually inside the machine. Some DIMMs are towards the front of the machine and some are further back. Of course, if you've got the second processor, there's another set of DIMMs, as we can see in the diagram. Over in this part of the label gives you very clearly the order and placements of the DIMMs. The first 16 go in pairs and the second 16 go in as quads. And I can read here that you can see the first 2 DIMMs go in as a pair in slots C33 and C17 and so on for the other DIMMs. So there's no need to go and find the documentation to work all this out. It's right here on the top of the box. Fact number 9. Watch out for the prices of these large DIMMs. If you want the full 4 terabytes, you do need 32 128GB DIMMs, but if you're looking for smaller memory sizes, use lots of the smaller ones and it will drastically reduce the price of your server. Note that these are RDIMMs, they're called registered DIMMs. That comes with a bunch of implications, and don't compare the prices to your PC memory, for example. They're server class, which is vital when you've got lots of memory DIMMs. They're buffered, which is good for having lots of slots, and then they're higher RAS. Absolutely, this is what you need for production use. So here's a little summary of the facts that we've looked at. Halt the movie now if you want to read through the details. So what you need to remember: larger memory sizes, lower costs, and excellent performance. And we're done. That's S924 memory. What you need to know. Next we'll be looking at the facts about I/O. If this video is useful, give us a thumbs up below or you can subscribe. Thank you for watching. Hello, my name is Nigel Griffiths. It's my great pleasure to talk in this video about the new IBM Power system, the S924. It's based on the Power 9 processor and what you really need to know. In this video we'll be looking at 10 facts about the CPUs. If we take off the front panel a little, then we can see inside the computer. So fact number 1, we're going to have 1 or 2 sockets for 1 or 2 Power 9 chips. If you look at the Power 9 chip in the top left, see a repeat pattern, and these are the individual CPU cores. Think of those as a computer in its own right. So a chip can be supporting 8, 10 or 12 CPU cores. So if we do a maths, the server can hold 16, 20 or 24 CPU cores. Each of those CPU cores can run 8 programs at the same time. The technical people like to call this symmetric multi-threading equals 8. The competition can only do 2. Fact number 5. If you do your maths, that means the server can run up to 192 programs at the same time. Fact number 6. Each of the Power 9 chips has 8 billion transistors. But is that a lot? Well, let's look in history. So it is double the number of transistors compared to Power 8 and 7 or 8 times faster than previous generations. All those transistors give us bigger data caches for performance, faster I/O off the processor, and faster CPUs. Fact number 7. Lithography. With every generation of chip, we actually make the tracks that make up the individual transistors and components inside the chip smaller. We're now down to 14 nanometers, but how big is a nanometer? Well, here's some examples. A sheet of paper is 100,000 nanometers. A human hair is 80,000 nanometers. So if you take a hair and you split it long ways in half, and then you do it long ways in half again, and again, and again, you do it 17 times, you're down to the size of this individual track. Fact number 8. So what does all this technology give you? Well, compared to the previous generation, which were very good fast computers, we're actually carrying a jump up in performance. The relative performance number is 583. Now in the year 2000 we had a RS6000 computer that was the same size as the S924, and that was rated as 1. So in those 18 years the computers are now 583 times faster. But let's give you a number you can probably remember. If if you compare the Power 8 and the Power 9 computers, our jump in performance is between 40 and 47%. Some of our competitors release a new generation of their computers if they get above 5% extra boost. So this is quite a jump from IBM. Fact number 9, how fast can we push these chips? We're running these at 3.9 to 4 gigahertz. Our nearest competitor tends to run their server-based chips at about 2.5 gigahertz. And this shows how IBM's superior engineering actually gives us that performance advantage. Fact number 10 is that the S924 has a smaller brother. The S922 is only 2U in a rack instead of 4U in a rack. This means we can't get quite as much air through the box at the front there with the fans. It means the number of CPU cores goes down to 20, but you do get twice as many computers in a rack. So here's a little summary about the 10 facts about our CPUs for the Power 9 S924, in case you want to make a note. In my next video, we'll be looking about facts about memory. Hello, my name is Nigel Griffiths. I work with IBM, Power Systems Advanced Technology Support in Europe. This video is all about the Power 9 scale-out machine, model S924. This is the first look around the machine. We're going to point out some of the highlights of the machine on a couple of slides, and then we'll actually have a look at the front, the inside, and the back of the machine itself. So this is the front of the machine, and I must say it's very nicely made indeed. 19 inches across and 4U high is standard size for a machine. There is a 2U high version of this machine, the S922, we'll look at that in a second. Inside the box we have the Power 9 processor with 8 billion transistors, quite a big hike from the previous generation. In the scale-up machines we have 1 or 2 sockets. There's up to 24 CPU cores in here, and it goes up to gigahertz. Around the base of the Power 9 heatsinks we have 32 DIMMs, the LPDDR4, that gives us up to 4 terabytes. They can be various sizes from 16 to 128 gigabytes. At the back there's a stack of 4 small power supplies. This will allow the machine to actually drop in just 2, so you can actually have 2 failures, or 2 of the cords fail, or a PDU fail at the back of your rack, and you can carry on running. At the front there are 6 air moving devices. They're not actually fans. We'll look at those in a second when we pull one out. At the back we have up to 11 PCI adapter slots. 5 of those are generation 4 for extra performance. There are many storage options. This diagram is actually showing you a split disk configuration where you can have 6 disks in one operating system and 6 disks in another. Typically used with power machines to boot the 2 VIO servers that are supporting everything else. There's also space over here for an RDX drive, which is a removable hard disk. That's a pretty nifty, cheap and cheerful backup option. You can also run it as 18 disks, and then we have advanced caching array controllers for extra performance and functions. Of course, with power, we often use the fiber channel adapters in the back to connect to your SAN disks. The internal disk can be regular disks or solid state drives, and we also have a new option for 4 NVMe drives, and each of those 4 can go into different operating systems if you want. Then we have remote I/O drawers for more disks and more adapters. So that's the S924, but it has some friends. We actually have 6 machines in this range. There's the S922, which is 2U high. Of course, you can't cram quite as much stuff in the smaller box, but that can be very useful. Still has the 4 terabytes of memory. Then we have the L922, which is the same again, but for Linux-only environments. We have a S912, which is a cut-down S922. If you don't need all the CPU power and memory, then you can take that model instead. There's also 2 H models, which are used for running the SAP HANA environment in particular. SAP HANA, of course, runs on Linux, but you are allowed up to 25% of the CPUs to use AIX or IBM I. Well, that's enough talking about the box. Let's go and have a look at the one I actually have in a rack here in London, in the UK. We've been using this machine for 3 months now, and we're very pleased with it. I noticed while everything is too bright for you to see the S924 on this little strip sticking out the front of the machine. Here's the power button and LED. Then we have the 3 LEDs, the blue identity, and 2 for system fault and system roll-up. We have a little blue tag in here and here. That's used to bring the bezel off. We'll do that in a minute. Looking at the disc, we have D1 to D10 in here. The first set is 6 and another 6 because we have a split black plane. This is the one running the first VO server. This one here is running the second VO server. Dual disk will be better. Over here is where an RDX is optionally placed. There's a small USB connector in here. There's the ops panel LCD here. It's missing on this particular machine. We'll come back and look at that in a minute. 6 blowers or air moving devices, as IBM prefers to call them. Down in here, this is actually connected to the machine rather than the bezel. This, if you like, is the handle that you pop down and pull if you want to move the machine out of the rack on the rails. Up in here, difficult to point to this, is a new Power 9 logo, blue and green circles around it. Further down in here, there's a little hole in which you can push an earth connector if you want to earth yourself to the machine before doing maintenance. Now pull those blue tags, it comes off with spring clips. Now you can see a little bit more of the internals here. Mentioned the indicators, they're still here, they're connected to the frame, and the 2 handles for pulling it out, we'll do that later. And the earth position. You can see the 6 blowers in here with bright green LEDs. They're chamfers, and they go into the machine there at the bottom, so the handle will fit in there, it doesn't stick out the front. You can very quickly pull out a fan if you want to. You can see it's a centrifugal fan in here, quite large, so that the noise is quite reduced. Now we can just pop that back into the machine. Need to push it in a little bit more, and then move the handle. It also popped up an orange